Oh, please let my husband's heart surgery be a success. Huh? What? This is a sign from God. I have to tell the priest.
My name's Pranav and you're watching Science is Dope. There was an incident back in 2012 that was all over the newspapers. The incident was claimed to be a miracle, but the man who debunked it was forced to flee the country because some people whose religious sentiments were hurt decided to take legal action against him. This is that story. Also, I don't know about you, but water here is dripping from Jesus' feet and not his eyes. But everywhere you look this up, you'll find the name the Weeping Jesus incident. Last I checked, people weep from their eyes, not their feet. Either way, by next morning, a crowd had formed in the church. People were collecting the water, and the priest of the church was distributing it by the spoonfuls. And the people were eager to drink it, hoping it would cure them of various ailments or just bring about general good fortune. This was nothing short of a newsworthy event, and there were many news channels that were trying to cover the story. One of the reporters thought there was something fishy happening here. He called his boss, and the boss called the president of the Indian Rationalist Association, Sanal Edamarka. Sanal has been active in the scene of rationalism for quite a long time, debunking the likes of Godman through street campaigns for common people, showing them all the tricks that they use to fool the public. As soon as Sanal arrived on the scene with an engineer, he quickly discovered that there was a washroom nearby whose drainage was blocked. The water, having nowhere to go, had seeped through nearby walls and even the base of the statue. The drain water, through a mechanism known as capillary action, which by the way I demonstrated earlier in a similar video about a miracle in Hindu temples. Anyway, the drain water had seeped up through the cross and was dripping down through a leaky nail down to the feet of the statue. This drain water was what was being distributed to people as holy water, and they were eager to drink it. As soon as a scientific explanation that made sense was given, the claims of miracle had died down, and people went home in sheer embarrassment of what they might have drunk. But for Edamarka, the battle had only just begun. I don't know what it is with people of any religion. The moment they see an event they cannot immediately explain, they jump to the conclusion that it has to be a miracle. We saw this with the Ganesha idol that was apparently drinking milk. This may be them trying to look for hope. All people face difficulties in life. They constantly wish that someone would come and save them from everything they face and the harshness of reality. But unfortunately, this also leaves them open to something far more dangerous and sinister: scammers. They can smell this desperation from a mile away, like a shark sniffing for blood in the water. They might promise a solution to someone's problems, and in return, they just want a little something, a little money. And the people are so desperate they don't even consider the possibility that they're being lied to. They're too blind to see that they're being taken advantage of. The governments and authorities could create laws that protect these innocent victims of these crimes, but they usually do nothing against these scammers and fraudsters because they don't want to risk offending religions. Also, for political and voter-based reasons, that's where rationalists like Sanal come into the picture. They openly call out people engaged in activities defrauding the innocents and scamming them. He has a long history of doing just this. He's traveled all over the nation exposing godmen and their tricks. But when he tried to point out the same thing with the church incident, things unfortunately didn't go so well. Sanal's claim was that the church was deliberately making such miracles and events in order to either scam people or make them fall deeper into their false beliefs. And they had no concern whatsoever for the fact that they might possibly be compromising people's health with this. Oh yeah, and he called the Pope anti-science as well. The church authorities' reaction was the oldest trick in the book. Deny, deny, deny. Although they didn't contest the scientific explanation given by Sanal about the origin of the water, his accusations did not sit well with them. They said that they would never knowingly deceive people or compromise their health. Whether we believe them or not, this same faith is being used by thousands of faith healers around the world, including our very own Baljinder Singh. We have to recognize that faith in any religion or religious authority can lead to such terrible outcomes. Either way, as I said, this incident didn't really sit well with the Catholics. And the Catholic Secular Forum, let's just ignore that oxymoron for now, filed an FIR against Sanal Edamarkar's arrest in a Mumbai police station. And guess which law the FIR was filed under? Section 295A, Blasphemy Laws. In April, after he saw he was summoned to be arrested, and he saw there was no chance of an anticipatory bail, as no bail is provided in cases registered under 295A, Sanal decided to move to a safe house in Delhi, one that no one knew the location of, and work from there. Sanal had every intention to fight this case in court, and he knew that he would win. But the police summons and arrest without bail would mean he would have to languish in jail for months and possibly years before the trial moves to court. And this wasn't a pleasant prospect for him. When he got information that the police had identified his location and were coming to arrest him with a warrant, Sanal quickly left the country. He had many friends in Europe and he decided to take up one of their offers to move to a country where he would feel safe. Finland. He's been there ever since, delivering lectures in Europe and America, but has never been able to return to India because of the case on him. The Catholic Church, however, has agreed to drop the case on him provided he apologizes. But Sanal feels he has nothing to apologize for. He stands by everything he said, and not only that, he saved innocent people from drinking sewage drain water. To this day, thanks to how this nation treats its heroes like these, trying to save people from scammers who exploit the public in the name of religion, he lives in Finland, unable to return to his home country. This is just another example of the fate of rationalists in this country. How they are constantly in danger because of how this country treats them. Despite that, there is a rich history of rationalism in this country. I've done one such story and I plan to do many more. And also plan to bring interviews with many of them soon. So if you don't want to miss any of that, do subscribe to the channel. Now there's a much bigger problem which lies under incidents like these. You know, for all its reputation for being this amazing document, the Indian Constitution contradicts itself in many places. For example, Article 51H says that it is the duty of every citizen to develop a scientific temper, while Section 295A of the Indian Penal Code says that you can't malign the religious feelings of any group. Tell me, how can both these coexist? How can we have free speech when we have these blasphemy laws, or if you prefer to call them religious protection laws? How can you develop a scientific temper when laws like these ensure that the regressive attitudes of a community are never questioned? The only consequence that these laws can have are what happened to Sanal Edamarkar. Salil Tripathi, the author of Offense, the Hindu Case, once said, if you want to build a truly liberal society, you have to protect the rights of the speaker and not just the one who feels offended. We find that this law is there to act as a shield to religious communities, when often it is just used as a weapon against someone saying something they don't like. We must all work towards abolishment of this law that discourages free speech, critical thinking, and a scientific temper. Because with it in place, it's not safe for rationalists in this country. The greatest currency that I have is your trust in me. I can't be the guy calling people out while also selling you stuff on the side, which is why I don't like sponsorships. Unless they really align with my own goals or it's a product that I personally use. Also, some sponsors tend to mess with my script sometimes, which is why I generally don't take them. And the only way that this channel does what it does is through your direct support. Through one of these options that you can see on your screen. I'll also link them below. YouTube thanks, Buy Me Coffee, UPI, they're all really helpful, but I highly recommend Patreon and YouTube memberships so that I can have a regular monthly income and not have to worry about revenue while bringing you these videos as often as I can. Because we all know that YouTube ad revenue is shit. Your direct support is what helps me keep this channel running and with my living expenses. I want to thank my highest tier Patreon and YouTube members who support me. By the way, Patreon is a lot cheaper and has way more perks. Anyway, if you like that video, check out this one on a rationalist who tried to bring in an anti-superstition law and what happened to him. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, remember, science is dope.